Everybody, welcome to today's show. This is going to be one of the most exciting shows we've ever had. I'm so excited. My heart's literally pumping right now because so much is going on. But the crazy thing is Trump and Elon Musk team are being sued by the district attorney of Pennsylvania for Elon giving away the $1 million to people who signed his petition to support the Constitution. They're trying to call this election interference and a voting lottery. This is so insane because you had Mark Zuckerberg, who literally gave $400 million away in 2020, but yet they're going after Elon. This shows you that they are desperate. The Republicans are outpacing the Democrats big time in early voting in Pennsylvania by 89%. This is the most important swing state that has to be won. On top of that, this is how desperate they're getting. There is literally ballot boxes that are being burned down, ballots being burned in states like Washington and Oregon, where the ballot boxes are in predominantly Republican areas, and they're literally being destroyed. We have all the video evidence. On top of this, Elon Musk gave a speech where he said we could cut $2 trillion from the budget. He said we got to get the government off your back and out of your pocket. This is insane what's going on today. There's a ton of breaking news of what's going on with the early polls and Trump winning with the Madison Square Garden rally. It is insane, y'all. Just want to say thank you to everybody that is watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button. And thank you to everybody that is a member of the channel. Thank you so much for the support. The link is in the description to join. And thank you so much to Judy Lynn Lovey for the super chat already. Said, happy Monday, Joel. Praying for all. Stay safe. Hey, everybody show Judy Lynn some love in the chat. Thank you to everybody that gives a super chat. We appreciate it so much. Remember, we use that money to give back to charity on this channel. But we got a ton of breaking news to go over today, guys. The polls are looking insane. Please answer the poll that I have in the question in the polling. And let's jump right into this. Check this out.
And the lineup was, first it was Mike Johnson, then it was Vivek, then it was Tulsi, then it was RFK Jr., Hulk, Dr. Phil, Dana White, J.D. Vance, Elon Musk, Melania, and Donald Trump. What a lineup.
I know.
Right.
I know.
There were people before that.
And by the way,
Right.
Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz, two people that Oprah gave huge breaks to
Yeah,
and
you're
very
right.
successful shows.
You're right.
And both said, you can have them. I'm staying here. I was shocked to see Dr. Phil there, even though you get the sense, you know, where Dr. Phil stands.
I was shocked, too.
That's a major thing because he starts his own network, interviewed Trump twice. Same thing with Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey's usually apolitical, you know where he stands conservatively, financially. After he interviews Trump, he's like, I am in. So I think that's pretty significant. If we could just go back 1 second and put up that
Joe
full
Rogan,
screen.
how about Joe Rogan? He hasn't endorsed yet, right? Didn't
No,
Trump say in the
I don't
interview?
think he will, and he says, I want to sit down with Kamala Harris, but I listened to the whole thing. They really had a great conversation, mutual respect there. But he said, Dana White is the reason you're here, and when you got shot, you just sold me. I thought it was important. He said, I never would have voted for Biden. I was giving her a shot. I'd like to have a conversation with her. That Wall Street Journal list, substantive list, rhetoric aside, I think this is important. This is what she stands for, and this is what Andy Kutzler wrote about today.
Huge.
Forget about your opinion, male, female, Republican, or Democrat. No one's talking about that anymore. Price controls, she mentioned it. Price gouging, it doesn't exist. The tax rate, you might not like rich people, but they buy a lot of businesses, they grow a lot of businesses. Give them that 2% back, that'll give them more money into the system. Heavier regulation, they came cascading down, ask anyone in oil and gas.
Yep.
Federal housing controls. The reason why you buy a house, there's all these environmental and all these other issues. They stopped building for 4 years, and this is what we get. Now, Trump is not perfect, but you know he's gonna go on to anti-regulation. He's gonna try to get as less taxes as possible, because he believes the more money you give people to keep, he believes the growth is going to get
close the border. He's going to cut
the border's key too.
The border's huge crimes, huge energy bills. He's going to decrease them 50% within the first year, he says.
And you saw the energy there in the stadium yesterday.
Huge.
But that energy is nothing if people don't show up.
Thank you so much, Jeff Davison, first timer at the super chat. He said, let's all vote red and to see a red wave next week. Let's go. Y'all show Jeff some love in the chat, everybody.
To the polls. Right. And I think the former president, Elon Musk, made it very clear. This is something different from the last time. You got to vote early. You got to make it too big to rig. Here's the former president.
Early voting is underway in every swing state, and we are setting all-time records. They're voting, I tell you what. I don't want to talk about it, but we have to keep it going. You got to get out and vote. We just have to get out. And who would have thought this was going to happen? We're leading in every swing state. But it doesn't mean a thing.
Vote early. Vote now. Yeah. Make the margin of victory so big that you know what can't happen.
Ho, 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 ho. Too big to rig.
Massive, overwhelming sweep of every swing state, and even some of the states that people don't think are swing states. Massive, crushing victory. Get everyone, friends, family, people on the street. Put the signs up, put the hat on.
Guys, Democrats, you did that.
Right
by
here.
vilifying him when he bought X, by trying to sue him with his space program and take him down when it comes to Tesla, leaving him out of all green conversations, you forced him to go to Trump.
Going after his kid, too.
You made a huge mistake because he's
Look
got
at
a
this,
huge
Brian.
ground game, too.
Look at that graphic right there.
Right,
That's
exactly.
unbelievable. We're not surprised by the Democrats because they normally vote early.
Right.
But look at the Republican number. It's almost up there with the Democrats.
It's surging.
This is
And so
huge,
let's go
y'all.
ahead and look state by state
Okay.
at how it's breaking down, Ainsley.
All right, so let's start with Arizona. It looks like 35% are Democrats who have already voted. 42% Republican. Why is that?
Well, what's interesting is that does not, 35 and 42 does not add up to 100%. That's because 23,
Give me a second. You're right.
23% of the people who requested votes
77. Just
are independents or third parties. So while that number is really good for Republicans, keep in mind there's 23% independents who also are out there that could swing the election.
When you look at Georgia, it's at 2.7 million early
That
votes.
is
You mean
Almost
Jim
3
Crow
million.
2.0?
Y'all.
Are you sure no one passed
Right.
out from not getting water? I mean, do we
They're
know?
showing up.
Has anyone lost consciousness?
I haven't received their report.
Oh, okay, I'm going to look into that.
And in Michigan, it's at 1.6 million as well.
So now in Nevada, look at that number. Republicans have returned 40% of the Republicans who requested, of all the early votes, 40% are Republican, 35% are
Do you
Democrat.
think, why is that? Is that because he was the first to say no tax on tips?
Well, I don't know, but keep in mind,
It's a good question.
keep in mind, I think a lot of people just have heard so many times that 2020 their vote was stolen, and so they're trying to get it in, regardless. But you also have to keep in mind that in Nevada, 25% are they are not third party, essentially.
I don't think, Steve, I've ever voted early, and I'm going to vote early.
Yeah,
you can
I
start
did
now.
too.
I always
Before.
vote.
I
This
tried
is
twice
huge,
over the
y'all.
weekend. The line was 3 hours long.
No
One time
way.
I started at 8:45 in the morning. I drove by Sunday.
Really?
At 3 hours, I asked the guy at the end. He goes, I asked the guys who came out, how long did it take? 3 hours. Okay, I'll just go Sunday. No one's going to go on Sunday.
Wait, do you
Packed again, 3
and
hours.
does it depend on the state? Because I know in some states you have to call in advance and find out where you go because it's not where you normally would go.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Early voting is often different than
Yes.
the day of it.
Election day. And you look at North Carolina, despite all the storms and everything that's there, 33% Democrat, 34% Republican, totaling up to 2.7 million.
Well,
Good
the
for North
Democrats got to feel
Carolina.
good
They
about
realize it's
Pennsylvania, though.
important.
But
That's a huge number.
It is.
The thing about North Carolina, Lawrence, is there are more independents in North Carolina than Democrats or Republicans.
What about Pennsylvania, Steve? What's going on there? So
well,
many
in
more
Pennsylvania,
Democrats.
1.4 million third-party people in that state. So while Democrats are 60% and Republicans are 30%, how is that final, 1.4 million going to vote in Pennsylvania? Our point is, swing state early voting looks really good for Republicans and
Yes.
surging over historical levels. And we don't know exactly why that is. We just know that there are also so many independents in each of these states. While they look encouraging in a couple of states, got to keep in mind, how are the independents voting?
I will say the last time, just from my, take it with a grain of salt if you want to, when I'm talking with friends and family, last election, people were much more relaxed when it came down to voting. Oh yeah, I'm going to show it.
I voted
now,
early.
It seems like it's a massive appeal. Okay, I got my vote in, bringing people to the polls.
Yeah,
it
but
just
last
seems
time, a drop
way
box
different.
on every corner.
This is true.
And this is the thing, guys. I'm telling you, what's happening across the board. There is things that we've never seen before. Check this out. This is literally a ballot box that somebody set on fire. Check this out. This is happening, and they're going through all kinds of ballot boxes in red spots where normally it's Republican voting in Washington and in Oregon. Look, all these are ballots that are being destroyed. Who knows whether your vote got counted or not? More videos are popping up on X over people saying, look, I got a notification saying I already voted and I haven't voted. A lot of people right now, update on we show you this every time, guys. This is important. We always say follow the money. Betty Market is saying Trump's up 66.1% to Kamala Harris's 33.9%. This is the biggest lead thus far in the race. This is this is over 30%, big time, guys. This is nuts. We look at where the states are at. Trump is, because we're looking at two, Arizona, Pennsylvania. And this is Trump is up 73 to 27, Pennsylvania 61 to 39. This is insane what we are seeing across the board. And a lot of people are saying like, whoa, what is going on? Like, what's with all the early voting? Well, that's it. That people felt like the election wasn't fair last time. So they said, we're going to get out. We're going to vote early. We're going to show our support. Let's go. If you feel it, show me in the chat. Check this out.
Getting away from them. It is. It is. Again, no chicken counting. Forget the I don't want to hear anything. I'm just saying it is getting away from them. There is no serious observer of politics, Democrat or Republican, who right now is not saying to yourself, man, this does not look good for them. Can they pull it out? Can they cheat? Can Democrats show up in a blue wave on election day? Yeah. But now the strange thing that's happening now is, in contrast to 2016 or 2020, where I think the media still had a foothold in the American psyche, the Hackcoon media, and the Nazi fascist bull out there, which is insulting and disgusting and freaking gross. I think in 2016 and 2020, when they still had a little bit of power, that scared people off. Do you in the chat agree? Seriously, I'm not saying you guys all had balls and you were early movers on the MAGA movement. I get that. I'm not talking about you, obviously. But there were, like the normies out there, I guess you call them, right? They were still kind of like, man, I can't wear my red hat in the supermarket, whatever. Folks, that's gone. Did you see this that happened last night on Sunday Night Football? At the end of the 49ers, San Francisco 49ers, and the Dallas Cowboy game? You see Nick Bosa show up in the interview with a MAGA hat on. Folks, it's gone mainstream now. Look at this. Check this out. Yeah, watch. There it is. There's Nick Bosa. You know what? Did I send you guys? I don't think I did. Was it Texas Tech, the punter on a fake punt? I thought he comes. Yeah, the Texas Tech guy. He's got this Trump 2024. Folks, it's gone totally mainstream. The mainstream media is sitting there. They're like, Nazi, fascist, racist, Nazi. Then they mix it up. Fascist, racist, Nazi. Nobody's listening.
Nope.
Nobody's listening. Even Axios had this piece talking about how the mainstream media is dying. I got a tweet coming up from David Sachs later in the show. Hopefully I get to it. Big tech investor saying we're probably 4 or 5 years away from the media being totally irrelevant and ignored in a mainstream media press cycle. Everything's gone mainstream. Oh, there it is.
Look at that.
Trump 2024.
Trump,
this
Mac.
was after a
Let's
fake
go.
field goal attempt. The Texas Tech kicker or something, or punter, or whatever it was. Look at this. Trump 24. It's gone totally mainstream. Now, the snapshots and the sound bites from this weekend were insane. You had mainstream media people on MSNBC crying, moaning, griping. There's a Nazi. Looking sad and pathetic. Nobody's watching him. And you had a collective 20, 30 million people across all platforms watching what was effectively another RNC at Madison Square Garden. I'd never seen anything like it. Here's some of the images from the Trump rally. Madison Square Garden, folks, in the middle of deep blue New York, my original home state. I never thought I'd see anything like this. The last time I was at Madison Square Garden, I think I was watching a video thing of some WWF before they were WWE. And look, the Hulkster was back again. Check this one out.
Trumpomaniacs, the energy in here is something like I've never felt. The energy of all these Trumpomaniacs is the most powerful force in the universe. And today, this is Donald Trump's house, brother.
Who do you want to be, man? Who do you want to be? You want to be Tampon Tim playing video games with AOC? I mean, actually, in the literal sense, playing video games with AOC on Twitch. Nothing wrong with it. I love video games. I love video games. Gamers out there, you've been great to Rumble and elsewhere. I'm just saying, like, I think the gamers themselves would acknowledge that if you were a gamer running for president, you wouldn't be playing games. You'd be running for president. You'd be doing rallies and stuff. You got Tim Walz playing a video game football with AOC while Trump's selling out Madison Square Garden. Madison Square Garden, in the heart of deep blue New York with an overflow crowd outside. My Secret Service friends told me he probably could have filled up Madison Square Garden again. Then this happened yesterday. Again, you want to be Trump or do you want to be Kamala Harris? You want the Hulkster or do you want Kamala Harris and Tampon Tim? Here's Elon Musk, who was a surprise guest. I got to tell you, folks, I got a pretty good contacts in the Trump team. I didn't even know this was going down. Elon Musk made an appearance in Madison Square Garden and came out in a surprise appearance to just an unbelievable round of applause after being one of the main figures saving free speech in America. You got to watch this. It's snapshots and sound bites, kids, and there was no better snapshot of the weekend than this one. Check this out.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for the greatest capitalist in the history of the United States of America, Elon Musk.
Folks, the rally was it was amazing. It was amazing. Don't get distracted. Yep. Oh, a comedian made a joke. That's a lefty distraction mechanism. It's insane that now the speech police on the left that have spent the entire weekend impugning the integrity of MAGA supporters, calling them Nazis, murderers, racists, that now all of a sudden they're concerned about a comedian show. Look at it.
Sorry to interrupt, guys, but I want to show you this right here. This is why I think MSNBC is a piece of trash. They will put out things. Look at the bottom headline. Trump's MSG rally comes 85 years after pro-Nazi rally at famed arena. Are you freaking kidding me? 85 years ago, they want to tie that together? Well, guess what? In 1992, Bill Clinton had a rally at what? Madison Square Garden. And guess what? Your boy went on to Google, and I typed in, look at the top, Bill Clinton, Madison Square Garden, 1992. Every one of these is all about Trump. The truth is here at the bottom in blue on X. President Bill Clinton attending his Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden, 1992. This is why we need X. You cannot trust a lot of these platforms, a lot of what you hear out there, because these pieces of trash like MSNBC, for them to put out to their entire millions of people that watch them, that they were trying to tie Trump to this rally that happened 85 years ago when Bill Clinton, Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, all these people have had rallies at Madison Square Garden, but yet this is what they want to show to their viewers. It's freaking propaganda, guys. This is why you got to share this and show the truth.
Look at some of the screenshots from the left. Trump's MSG rally comes 85 years after a Nazi rally. These people,
they're desperate.
The union. Can you imagine? Like, wait, oh my God. I know, we need it. I'm sorry. FBI, get on the case. There is a group of Nazis. They are a threat to American security, the equivalent of World War II. They are all coalescing in Madison Square Garden. I want fingerprints, DNA, and names of all attendees. Fugazi's back again. Fugazi's. They want everyone. They want everybody in a lineup. Daisy chained out of there. These people are freaking nuts. They are crazy.
They're so freaking nuts.
They're crazy people. Folks, they are absolute lunatics. You understand they have nothing else? Are you seriously telling me that anyone who appears at Madison Square Garden, from Pitbull to Bill Clinton to Donald Trump, that you should be compared to the Nazis because 85 years ago they had a rally? Do you know how desperate you have to be, man? Do you have any idea? Now, this is where I get worried. Serious time. Being more. Can you get a screenshot of that Giphy? The more. Show up early in person. More. Bring it, folks. Bring it. Bring it every day. Vote early.
Yes.
10 people. More. Make them freak out so much. They panic. They're going to try to make water mains break. There's going to be some cyber attack. It doesn't matter. It's only going to affect them. Here it is. More.
Vote
Every
early,
day.
guys.
More early.
Let me know if you're voting early in the chat, everybody. I've seen some people, they say they've been voting. This is what's going on right now. So remember, a lot of this stuff that you're seeing, voter registration, check this out. This is the actual facts. GOP, voter registration update, 36,507 versus 19,744. In the early weeks of voting, this is where it shows you the GOP is kicking butt, guys. This is the facts right here. Whenever we look at what the polls that are showing, because I'm telling you, there's something off a little bit with Fox, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. Because when I look at them, they keep making it look like Kamala Harris is going to win. And I don't know if they're trying to subconsciously get people to get out there and vote. But this is what people are doing right here. They're burning ballot boxes. They're trying to get rid of the red vote. They're trying to get rid of the Republican vote because they're scared. They're afraid of what is actually going on. People are fed up. No more of this just sitting back. We're going to get out early vote. We're going to show the support. Check this out.
I saw the Grateful Dead in this arena in 1987. I was seated right there. How weird. It's such an honor to be here, and it's wild. Just another day following Bobby Kennedy Jr. at a Donald Trump rally in Madison Square Garden. Wait, what?
That makes no sense.
That's totally normal. Liz Cheney's out there with Kamala Harris. And there's Bobby Kennedy calling to protect women's sports at a Trump rally. It's a realignment. It's unbelievable. And the fact that it's here is even sweeter. Imagine if you're, and just pause for one moment. Imagine you're Donald Trump. You're from New York City. You become famous in New York City. You make your fortune in New York City. And all of a sudden, the leadership of New York City decides they're going to destroy you because they don't like your politics. And so yeah, boo. Imagine if that were you, though. And they try and take everything that you have. They try and put you in prison. They try and put your children in prison. If that happened to you, how often do you think you'd be going back to New York City? How about never? And yet he's here. It's like getting thrown out of a bar. And you think to yourself, well, you know, all my friends are in the bar. And you approach the door and there's the bouncer like, you're not allowed in here. But from behind the bouncer, you hear the cheers of your friend, come on in! And the bouncer hangs his head in shame. He's embarrassed that he's working for the man trying to keep the most popular person out of the bar. And that's Donald Trump back in the city that produced him with no embarrassment at all, in a room full of his friends. The stones that takes, the bravery that takes, is incredible. Donald Trump's gonna win.
Let's go.
He's gonna win. I know that that's true. Why is Donald Trump gonna win? The people he's about to defeat have no idea. And they're panicked. They have no idea why people like Donald Trump. And their first theory was, well, Donald Trump is evil, so half the country's evil also. And that's one of the reasons they spent the last 4 years trying to destroy the country, because they're mad at its voters for liking Donald Trump. How much easier would it have been just to pause for 20 minutes and ask yourself honestly in some silent place, why do people like Donald Trump? And if they had been honest enough to ask themselves that question, they would have come up with the two main reasons, and here's what they are. The first reason that people like Donald Trump is because he likes them. That's why. And it's real. Affection is something you can't fake. I don't care how many times Kamala Harris would tell me she loves me, I don't believe her. I saw her kiss her husband with a mask on. A mask on. That's her version of love. It's fake. It's not real. They spent 10 years telling you Trump is a hater. Do you feel that on him? No, you don't.
No.
Because it's not there. I've spent a lot of time with Trump. And there's not one moment I've ever been with him off camera where he's spending his time grousing about people he hates. Ever. He's talking about the people and the country he loves in his private time. Trust me. And people know in a country that has been taken over by a leadership class that actually despises them and their values and their history and their culture and their customs, really hates them to the point that it's trying to replace them, they know someone who actually has affection for them, and that's Donald Trump. And it's requited. It's requited. They know. When he goes to McDonald's and serves fries, like, he's not faking that at all. That's why that worked. Democratic media consultants are like, how is that working? Because it's real. That's why. And the second reason that people love Trump, and I put myself in this category, it's why I'm here today, is because he's liberated us in the deepest and truest sense.
Yes.
And the liberation he has brought to us is the liberation from the obligation to tell lies. Donald Trump has made it possible for the rest of us to tell the truth about the world around us. And that's the single most liberating thing you can do for people. If you want to enslave people, if you want to degrade them, force them to tell lies. And they have. They forced us to lie about everything at gunpoint, effectively. They put people in prison for refusing to lie. And not just the obvious lies that men can become women or Vladimir Putin blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. No, honestly, he did. January 6th was an insurrection. They were unarmed, but it was very insurrection-y. Not even the obvious ones, but the big lie. You know what the big lie is? The big lie is that they're impressive. That's what the big lie is. That the people in charge have somehow earned the right to rule over you, and they haven't.
No.
And you know that.
We've said it
These
on
are
here.
the single most useless people in the United States. They have no skills whatsoever. They've got 3/4 of the money, and they didn't earn it. They set up a system precisely for the purpose of awarding themselves wealth and power when it's undeserved. You look.
And I'll say this too, sorry to interrupt. Whenever we were going through the pandemic and everybody was losing their jobs and nobody could get paid because they were forced to stay at home, guess who still got paid? All the politicians. Guess who got raises during the pandemic while everybody else was suffering? All the politicians. And this is what, remember what Trump said? He said, you don't have to pay me. Don't pay me anything. I don't need it. That's what we want. Stop taking advantage of American people and put them first. Tracy Hall, thank you so much. First timer with the super chat. Thank you for all you do. Trump 24. I'm excited to get to vote today. Let's go. Show Tracy some love in the chat, everybody.
At Liz Cheney and you ask yourself honestly, what skill could she possibly have that allowed her to send hundreds of thousands of people to their deaths? Did she earn that? I don't think she did. No fair system would make Liz Cheney powerful. No fair system would make Larry Fink rich. No fair system would elevate someone like Kamala Harris to a presidential nomination.
Exactly.
She's never been accused of doing anything useful. She has precisely no achievements. She's a nominee without getting a single vote. She is a metaphor for the system they created to make themselves rich and powerful, and then they have the gall to lecture you, the people who can actually change a flat tire and repair a power grid, who have useful jobs, who pay your taxes and work 40 hours a week, lecture you that you are somehow immoral. And Donald Trump has empowered the rest of us through mostly just sticking around in the face of their hate and abuse and persecution. He has given the rest of us the right to call BS on the charade. No, you are not better than us. No, you are not smarter than us. No, you do not deserve what you have. You probably stole it. No, you're not going to bully me into silence anymore.
No more.
And I can promise you at this point, 9 days out, when Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Elon Musk and Tulsi Gabbard and Pretty much every high school senior and college shorty girl in the country has come out finally say, yeah, I am for Donald Trump, actually. When the entire country has realized there is nothing embarrassing about this. What's embarrassing is to take a perfectly great country and destroy it, as they have. I'm not ashamed. You should be. At that moment, it's going to be pretty tough for them 10 days from now to look in the eye to America with a straight face. It's going to be pretty hard to look at us and say, you know what? Kamala Harris, she got 85 million votes because she's just so impressive. As the first Samoan, Malaysian, low IQ, former California prosecutor ever to be elected president, it was just a groundswell of popular support. And anyone who thinks otherwise is just a freak or a criminal. At this stage of the game, after 9 years of listening to their lies and finding every single one of them totally false, no, it's not safe and effective, and no, she's not impressive. It's very hard for me to believe the rest of us are going to say, you know what, Joe Scarborough, you're right. You're right. She won fair and square because she's just so impressive. I don't think so. And to me, that is liberation.
Yes.
It's the freedom to say what's obviously true as a free man and not a slave. And I just want to say thank you, Donald Trump, for that.
Let's go. Guys, I'm telling you, there's a revolution happening with people in America. They're not holding back anymore. People don't care anymore. Check this out. This happened a couple days ago. It was reposted by JD Vance over this woman who was voting. They told her, ma'am, you can't wear that Trump shirt at this polling station. So guess what? She took it off and voted anyway and said, who cares? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put my vote in, and I don't care what these people say. This is the type of situation that we're at right now, where ladies like this, they don't care. They said, we're done with it. They know that it's all fake. It's as fake as it's ever been. Check this out. You want to know how fake it is? Listen to this.
It's not on the schedule is whether or not he will be, if that event could be billed as a campaign event for the Maryland Senate candidate over there, Angela also Brooks. So we shall see. You know, it is a calculation that the Harris team is making at this point that they don't think that Biden could benefit them politically at this point of the campaign, guys.
All right. You see that? So Biden's out of the picture now. Harris campaign says, you know what? He's not going to be a benefit, so we don't need him anymore. So let's just kick him off to the side. Let's kick the sitting president off to the side, who's usually your biggest proponent in whoever's trying to run next. This is the craziest election we've ever seen. Trump's dream team is kicking butt like never before. And I just want to say, chat, y'all are killing it tonight or today. Y'all are amazing. Thank you so much for your support. Here's another one of the dream teamers. Check it out.
They won't talk about this. But they know it to be true. Donald Trump is actually the president who will unite this country, actually. And we don't talk about that enough. America First includes all Americans, regardless of their race, their gender, or their sexual orientation. Our message to Black Americans tonight is this: we want you, what we want for every American. Safe neighborhoods, good jobs, clean streets. A country where you are judged based on the content of your character, not the color of your skin or your political beliefs. That's the America we know.
Let's go.
Our message to gay Americans tonight is this: you're free to marry who you want, if you want, without the government standing in your way. But that doesn't mean that boys get to compete with girls in girls' sports, or you do genital mutilation and chemical castration on our children. Our message to every legal immigrant in this country is this: you're like my parents. But our message to every illegal immigrant, if you came legally, you get the same American dream that everybody else does. Work hard, get ahead, make contributions to this country, love the nation, and that's our message to legal immigrants. But our message to every illegal immigrant is also this: we will return you to your country of origin.
Boom.
Not because you're all bad people, but because you broke the law. And the United States of America is founded on the rule of law. Our message to my generation, the millennials, is this. You were sold a false bill of goods. You were told you'd become a gender studies major in California. Somehow that gets you a head start on the American dream when it hasn't worked out that way. Dead on your shoulders. The Iraq and Afghanistan wars. Yes, it's true you were lied to. But we can't just be cynical about our country because this is still the last best hope that we have in the free world. And our message to Gen Z is this. You're going to be the generation that saves the country. You want to be a rebel? 18 years old, stand up on your college campus and call yourself a conservative. Be proud of it. Say you want to get married, have kids, raise a family, and have a good job. That's how we win in America. We don't have to be this nation in decline. We are still on our way up. We're still that country where we will look our children in the eye and mean it when we tell them, you get ahead in the United States with your own hard work, your own commitment, your own dedication, and that you know what? You are free to speak your mind at every step of the way. That is the American dream. That is what we are running to. And that is what we get when we send Donald Trump back to the White House this November. Thank you. God bless you and the great state of New York. And may God bless our United States of America. Thank you. God bless.
Man, have you ever, guys, I'm telling you, have you ever seen the team that is around Donald Trump right now like never before? People are talking about this could be a Reagan-esque type of election where Trump just literally wipes the floor, wins the electoral votes, big time, over 300 electoral votes. I think he's going to do it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. But check this out, because this is people that have been around for a while. They kind of know something. Check this out.
Breaking rally last night at Madison Square Garden in New York City, appealing to deep blue New York City voters in one of the final campaign events before the November election. Watch.
Next Tuesday, you have to stand up and you have to tell Kamala Harris that you've done a terrible job. We're not going to take it anymore. Kamala, you're fired. We're bringing back the American dream, and we're going to bring it back at the highest level that you've ever seen.
Joining me now is former House Speaker, Fox News contributor, the author of March to the Majority, Newt Gingrich, back with us. Newt, great to see you. You were at the rally at MSG last night. How was it? What were your takeaways?
Well, I think Clifton and I both, first of all, just thought it was amazing to be at Madison Square Garden to see the sheer energy level, which is something several of the speakers commented on. This was a crowd that was on fire. They were excited. And the president lived up to that. His speech was, I think, very powerful, very direct. Melania was wonderful introducing him and being part of it. So were Eric and Ron and Don Jr. So you really had this whole effect and Laura Trump. But you also had, in a sense, a new Republican Party. I mean, you had, people like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Giving a talk at a rally for a Republican nominee. You had Tulsi Gabbard, who's now switched parties and become a Republican. And it was just really interesting. You had people, as different as Vivek Ramaswamy, who's a very successful entrepreneur. And of course, you had Elon Musk, who's the wealthiest, most successful man in the world, and who also has made amazing achievements with his new Starship, which will ultimately, I think, go to Mars probably before the end of the decade. And so all of this talent coming together. And I would say, frankly, I'm happy to swap Robert F. Kennedy for Liz Cheney. I thought that sort of captured where this race is at. And I think that the fact is that Trump's going to win.
Yeah, so you think Trump could take New York? Newt, can he win New York?
Well, I think it's a long shot. I mean, it depends on how tired New Yorkers are of crime and costs and taxes and corruption. He certainly is going to do better in New York than he did in his first two campaigns, and I think he has an outside chance. I don't think it's if he carries New York, this will be a landslide of a Reagan scale.
Yes,
but he certainly has momentum. What he is doing is he's helping reelect Republican congressmen in New York, and that's vital if Speaker Johnson's going to have a big enough majority to enact a Trump agenda.
So you've got a new ABC News Ipsos poll putting Harris ahead of Trump nationally at 51% versus 47%. But that same poll shows Trump leading Harris on key issues. He's up 8 points on the economy. He's up 7 points on inflation and the conflict in the Middle East. He's up 12 points on immigration, Newt.
But
big, what's
yo.
with these polls? I mean, they're so close when you look at these national polls, and it's much different than the predictive election markets. When you get to something like a poly market, which actually, you know, people put their money on and they're betting on, you've got a much wider gap. You've got Trump right now at 66.6% versus Kamala at 33.4%. Do you believe the other polls that have them so close nationally?
Well, I'd say a couple of things. First of all, there are different polls. Trafalgar, for example, which was remarkably accurate in 2020, shows Trump doing very, very well. The Democracy Institute poll, which is a joint British-American venture, shows Trump doing very well. So you can take your polls. I would say two things about what I watch right now. One is, by the way, the gambling market, which is not sort of my normal take. In recent betting, it's 95% Trump.
Yes, follow
she's still
the
at
money.
30-something% because it's a lagging indicator. But in recent betting, they just said this is, you know, she's going to lose. The other thing is, look at the state turnouts. I've been stunned. In state after state, either the Republicans are ahead, which they are in most of the states, or the margin of early voting has narrowed dramatically. It's 950,000 votes closer in Pennsylvania than it was at this stage in 2020. 950,000 votes. And the reason is pretty simple. Everywhere you look, and I talked to Chairman Wadley about this of the Republican National Committee last night, he said everywhere they look, Democrats are not turning out, and they're not turning out because, frankly, Kamala Harris is not believable, and she doesn't make any sense. You can only say I was raised as a middle-class child so often before people think it's a joke.
Right. So and I'm telling you this, guys, there's more stuff that's coming out. People, when you see this, remember,
Donald Trump.
Body language is big. Whenever you look at somebody and how they react, it tells you everything. So Kamala Harris went on. They asked her this super important question. Look at how she reacts to it. And I'm telling you, she's totally fake. This person cannot be the next president. Check it out.
Donald Trump was on Joe Rogan, and he called you, Madam Vice President, a very low IQ.
Oh, come on.
And said, I think she needs to take a cognitive test. I think Kamala should have a test because there's something missing. There's something wrong with her.
You see that?
Donald Trump.
Did you see how she reacted at the very end? She's nodding her head, and she's like, she doesn't even say anything. This tells you there's something going on. To me, she's one of the greatest puppets for the Democratic Party that we've ever seen, guys. I'm telling you. And when you see the people on Trump's side, how passionate, real, Tucker Carlson was speaking, he wasn't using the teleprompters. It was all coming from here. And then you got this guy I'm so excited about, who's ready to make government efficient, cut all the fat, put more money back into the American people's pockets because the dang government don't know what to do with it besides spend it all on stupid stuff. Check this out.
It's my time to turn. I'm not just MAGA. I'm dark, gothic MAGA. Well, the energy in this room is incredible. What a great group of people.
All right, I've only got one question for you, then I'm getting out of here because this is your stage. But we set up Doge.
Yes.
How much do you think we can rip out of this wasted $6.5 trillion Harris-Biden budget?
Well, I think we can do at least $2 trillion.
Yeah!
Can y'all believe
$2 trillion.
that? I mean, at the end of the day, you're being taxed. You're being taxed. All government spending is taxation. So whether it's direct taxation or all government spending, it either becomes inflation or it's direct taxation. Your money is being wasted And the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that. We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook. And America's just not just going to be great. America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing. Now, you guys are awesome. Honestly, this is like,
He's just having fun.
Yeah. I mean, this is the kind of positive energy that America is all about.
Yes. Boom, baby.
Yeah. USA, 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 USA. Ah! Yes. Now, I have something I want to ask you to do, though, because obviously we're somewhat preaching to the converted in this stadium, but there's a lot of people out there who need to vote for President Trump. Okay, so this is a real battle. This is a real election battle. So you need to get friends and family to vote. Make sure they vote early. This is important. We're going to be putting up a scorecard, okay? An early vote scorecard, state by state, county by county. What is the scorecard? Vote early. Vote now. Yeah.
And remember, guys, the Pennsylvania district attorney is now suing this guy for giving people $1 million for just signing a petition to support the Constitution, saying that this is election interference. He's using his money to sway the election, which is preposterous, because when you think about how much the whole supportive just side of the Democratic side is, a lot of people don't know this. Chat, I'm about to show you something. A lot of people don't know that when it comes to donations given by certain parties, certain companies to each political party, it is very one-sided. So check this out. A lot of people don't see this type of stuff, but I like to show you the facts. So right here, this is how much has been donated. This is from the World of Statistics to the Harris Biden campaign and then to Trump. Well, look at the top. 1.4 million from Google, 743,000 from Microsoft. Both of these companies control 99% of the search online. Brown & Brown, 324. Johnson & Johnson, 239. Apple, 225. Then you got Trump. The highest one from a company is only 134,000. This is why this is so one-sided when you look at where they support, where they don't support, where the money's come, where it's going, that they are trying to use lawfare to try to go against the people that are trying to support Trump in every single way. That's why when you support this channel, when you hit the like button, when you share this, when you donate, whether it's a super chat, whether it's being a member, you lift this channel up and we get shown to more people and we get to show people the truth. This is why we need to do this and we need to come together. And this is why I always say thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for subscribing, because people need to see the truth. A lot of people don't know these facts. They only see one side, like MSNBC, where they're saying that they were aligning Trump's rally to a Nazi rally 85 years ago, when Bill Clinton in 1992 had the exact same rally at Madison Square Garden, totally filled up. This is why it's so important that we get the truth out there. And I just want to say thank you so much to everybody that is subscribed. Thank you so much to everybody that is a member of the channel. And thank you so much to everybody that has given a super chat donation. Judy Lynn, Loving Spirit, Jeff Davison, Tracy Hall. Y'all show them some love in the chat. I love y'all. I'm here for y'all. I'm going to bring the best news y'all every day, show you what you don't see on mainstream media, and make sure that you get the truth every day, the actual real numbers. And I just want to say I'm so grateful and thankful for every single one of you watching. I'm here for you. I love you all, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.